This is Luke Skywalker. This figure released in 3 sets from 2021 through 2023. This was our first Hoth Luke Skywalker with a balaclava head. This figure is worth about $5 new and $3 used. This is the Clone Jet Trooper. This figure released in 2005 exclusive to the Clone Turbo Tank. So far, this is our only Clone Jet Trooper with wings attached to his jetpack. This figure is worth about $46 new and $26 used. This is Mon Mothma. This figure released in 2009 exclusive to the Home 1 Mon Calamari Star Cruiser. So far, this is our only Mon Mothma minifigure that I have. This figure is worth about $30 new and $27 used. This is Boba Fett in his prototype armor. This figure released in 3 books from 2015 through 2018. There is a very similar white Boba Fett figure made with the old style Mandalorian armor. This figure is worth about $82 new and $52 used. This is the Rocket Battle Droid. This figure released in 2 sets from 2009 through 2010. So far, this is our only Rocket Battle Droid. This figure is worth about $6 new and $3 used. This is the Kashyyyk Scout Trooper. This figure released in 3 sets from 2014 through 2016. And even though they look similar, this figure does use a different helmet mold than the Imperial Scout Trooper. This figure is worth about $22 new and $12 used. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. This figure released in 2017 exclusive to the Duel on Naboo. Surprisingly, it has been about 7 years since we've gotten our last episode 1 Obi-Wan. This figure is worth about $15 new and $7 used. This is the Mandalorian. This figure released in 3 sets in 2023. This was our first Mandalorian in Beskar armor with detailed printing on the top of the helmet. This figure is worth about $9 new and $8 used. This is Emperor Palpatine. This figure released in 4 sets from 2015 through 2017. For some reason, LEGO decided to remove the pupils on the newer Palpatine figures. This figure is worth about $16 new and $10 used. This is the B-1 Battle Droid. This figure released in 50 sets from 1999 onward. And despite him being in production for 25 years, this figure has stayed virtually unchanged. This figure is worth about $2 new and $2 used. This is the Gamorrean Guard. This figure released in 2022 exclusive to Boba Fett's Throne Room. Surprisingly, this was only our 4th Gamorrean Guard figure ever. This figure is worth about $14 new and $14 used. This is the First Order TIE Pilot. This figure released in 2017 exclusive to Kylo Ren's TIE Fighter. This figure is unique because unlike other TIE Pilots, this figure has red stripes on his helmet to signify a high rank. This figure is worth about $23 new and $13 used. This is Bo-Katan Kryze. This figure released in 2 sets from 2021 through 2023, that being the Mandalorian Starfighter and the Bo-Katan foil pack. But there is a much better Bo-Katan figure with arm printing that released in the Spider Tank. This figure is worth about $15 new and $12 used. This is General Grievous. This figure released in 3 sets from 2014 through 2020. And despite being an incredibly popular character, we don't get Grievous often. This figure is worth about $43 new and $27 used. This is Luke Skywalker. This figure released in 2020 exclusive to Luke's Clan Speeder. So far, this is our only Luke Skywalker with his poncho. This figure is worth about $11 new and $9 used. This is Darth Maul. This figure released in 2 sets from 2017 through 2019, that being the Duel on Naboo and the Darth Maul Sith Infiltrator Microfighter. For some reason, LEGO decided to give this figure a creepy smile. This figure is worth about $17 new and $9 used. This is the Phase 1 Plain White Clone Trooper. This figure released in 2018 exclusive to the Jedi and Clone Troopers Battle Pack. This was our first plain white Phase 1 Clone Trooper with leg printing. This figure is worth about $16 new and $9 used. This is Snowy Chewbacca. This figure released in 2022 exclusive to the Hoth ATSD. So far, this is our only Chewbacca with snow speckles. This figure is worth about $7 new and $7 used. This is Dengar. This figure released in 2 sets from 2016 through 2017, that being the Eclipse Fighter and the Bounty Hunters Battle Pack. Surprisingly, this was only our 3rd iteration of Dengar. This figure is worth about $10 new and $6 used. This is Mighty R2-D2. This figure released in 2018 exclusive to Yoda's Hut. This was our first R2-D2 with dirt stains. This figure is worth about $9 new and $5 used. This is the Mandalorian. This figure released in 3 sets from 2021 through 2023. For some reason, on the older Mandalorian figures, the visor is downshifted. This figure is worth about $8 new and $6 used. This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. This figure released in 2014 exclusive to General Grievous' wheelbike. Overall, this is a pretty good figure with a very detailed torso print. But sadly, the printing on the leg is a bit faded. And if you're curious, that is the second face. This figure is worth about $20 new and $8 used. This is the 501st Sniper. This figure released in 2 sets from 2023 through 2024, that being the 501st Specialist Battle Pack and the 501st Sniper Paper Bag. Overall, this is a pretty good figure, but he just has the exact same torso print as the 501st Trooper, just with some yellow markings. And sadly, there is no print on the macro binoculars. This figure is worth about $4 new and $4 used. This is the ATSD driver. This figure released in 2022 exclusive to the 4 Plus ATSD. Overall, this is a decent figure, but sadly no leg printing. And if you're curious, this is the second face. This minifigure is worth about $7 new and $5 used. This is Boba Fett. This figure released in 2018 exclusive to the Master Builder series Cloud City. So far, this is our best Boba Fett minifigure that we have gotten. This minifigure has an excellent torso print, excellent arm printing, and even an excellent back print, even though it's covered up by the jetpack. And the minifigure does include his excellent cloth pauldron, and if you're curious, he just has the regular Angry Clone head. But there was a slightly more expensive variant of this figure that released in the UCS Slave one, but that one has an exclusive face. This figure is worth about $170 new and $150 used.